Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and we have a new champion in AEW, and that is Hangman Adam Page. The reign of Jon Moxley is over, and now we look at what's next for the Cowboy because, man oh man, let's talk about that match first because, yeah, yes, they essentially copied the ending of WrestleMania 40 with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. You had all the wacky interference. You had the crazy overbooked mess that the Bloodline Rules match has always, you know, come down to essentially with the interferences. And in a way, I'm not even complaining. Like I've seen some people be like, "Oh, they just copied the ending of WrestleMania 40. They copied Cody. They just had Hangman be there, Cody Rhodes, blah blah blah." Like the thing is, I'm not even mad that they essentially copied it because I think, in a way, like it's crazy because we know AEW as the wrestling company. WWE is known for relying heavily on stories. But when I look at the ending of WrestleMania 40, yeah, the interferences made sense. There was a story. But when I look at everything that within this match at All In between Moxley and Hangman, I feel like the story that was being told between Hangman and Swerve kind of put it over the top for me. In terms of when you compare it to WrestleMania 40, Cody Rhodes, and all that other stuff and finishing the story, I feel like to me the ending where Swerve is hands the chain to Hangman to allow Hangman to finally finish Jon Moxley and essentially use that to tap him out as he hung him over the rope, and Swerve being the guy to help Hangman win when these two have been at each other's throats. They've been invading each other's home. Hangman burned down the childhood home of Swerve Strickland. I mean, I did a live stream last year, AEW All Out, and it was insane. The needle into the mouth of Swerve, and now here we are, like a year later. Well, not even a year later, but almost a year later, and Swerve is helping Hangman become the champion. Like that, to me, I think, kind of in a way, puts it a little bit over a little bit better, just because I think there was more of a story being told within this match compared to Cody and Roman, where we knew what the story was. It wasn't like Cody, like it's not even like comparable to Seth saying he's gonna be hit Cody's shield, but it's like Cody. It's essentially if Cody was feuding with someone that he didn't like and had a heated feud with, and that person helped him take down Roman Reigns. But that's what this match had, and that's what made that so good to me. Like to me, it was like, man, that was well worth it. Like, yeah, we didn't like the reign of Jon Moxley, but you know what? It was worth it. Like that match was worth it. Yeah, it was the more violent way of things that AEW does in terms of, you know, they're not PG, so there's gonna be blood. There's gonna be crazy weapon spots and stuff. I think the only thing missing was somebody not going through a flaming table. But like, it was just a great way to top off or to cap off what was such a great pay per view. Like AEW to me, like it baffles me that there's people that that the ratings aren't higher. The ratings aren't higher. The viewership ain't higher. Like, I feel like, for at least, when you listen to Excalibur, talk about this being a new era for AEW, like, I feel like that's the thing for me, is that AEW has needed to get back to where they were when they first started. And what was one of the big stories was Hangman's journey to becoming the world champion, where he beat Kenny Omega. And now, again, the story of Hangman Adam Page was again told to hit with this new character evolution. Like, AEW, like I said, it's known for its wrestling and all these crazy 5-star, 7-star matches. But, like, I've always felt that they were missing what they were missing was the characters. Like, giving people a reason to tune in to watch AEW, giving fans a reason to invest into the wrestlers they are seeing. And I think with Hangman, with Swerve, the stuff they did with the Young Bucks, where the Young Bucks weren't just tag team guys that were just putting on great matches. They included the fact that they were EVPs into their characters, into their characters on TV. And now it gave them something more than just being a great tag team. And now, essentially, they lost that All In. But I'm going to be curious where they go with Hangman Adam Page, because the thing that really surprised me at All In was that Will Ospreay and Swerve actually won their match against the Young Bucks. So I guess that means they're not going to be EVPs within storyline, of course. But, like, it's one of those things where I thought, oh, okay, I really thought they were going to lose, because AEW All In next year is going back to London. And I thought, okay, well, he can't challenge for a year, so that gives them enough time between now and next August, for him to get to that title match. So I really thought the Bucks were going to win. I thought maybe someone would come out, help them win, and they would get more heat, yada yada yada, and it would give something for Will and Swerve to go after while Hangman had his run with a championship. But, man, how crazy would it have been? MJF won the Casino Gauntlet earlier in the show. Like, that is essentially their Money in the Bank. And, like, man, what if MJF would have came out there and said he was going to cash in his title opportunity right then and there, and just steal the moment away from Hangman, like that, or even just attempting to do it and Swerve stopping him from doing it. Like, man, that would have been interesting. But yeah, and you have to think, last year Christian won the Casino Gauntlet, the ability to challenge at any time. And now you have MJF, who has his contract where he can challenge at any time. And now you kind of wonder, is this next year going to shape up to be like shape up to tell the story of, say, Will Ospreay becoming the AEW World Champion? Because to me, I feel like Hangman and Swerve, that's going to be a match you do down the line. And I feel like, to me, that would be the perfect way to have MJF cash in his championship opportunity. Because, to me, I think when you look at what's next for Hangman Adam Page, I think you got to keep Swerve and Hangman apart for a little bit. Let Hangman go through some title defenses, and then get to Swerve. So maybe World's End or Revolution next year. Something to that effect. And something where, Hangman has a long run. And also it gives him a good run with the championship. But it builds to Swerve eventually getting back to Hangman, and we rekindle that feud, but this time for the world title. And I have to imagine, Will Ospreay is all over the promotional material for Forbidden Door, which is taking place at the O2 Arena in London. So I have to think that the story that is going to be told over the next year is going to be I would imagine this is probably what's going to happen is Ospreay loses to Hangman at Forbidden Door, so the story can be Ospreay returning to London next year at All In to go to try to win the championship again, but he lost at Forbidden Door in London, so it's kind of like a redemption story, and maybe he wins the Owen Hart tournament next year. Are we going to see another match between Jon Moxley and Hangman at All Out, maybe? Or Forbidden Door? That can leave the question, is Hangman going to fight someone from New Japan, potentially? So that, to me, that is going to be interesting. I think AEW right now, they are on the right track to get back to where they were. I mean, because you have MJF right there. That MJF, was one of the top heels in AEW. He still is. But when you look at the early days of AEW and how he was essentially being built as the top heel in the company, and eventually he got the title and everything, but it's one of those things where I feel like AEW right now, with Hangman winning the championship over the next year, to where we can get back to the AEW that had so much momentum in those early years, those first couple of years. And I think that's what I'm hoping for, because to me, AEW lost a lot of momentum when Vince got outed from WWE, because, again, AEW built themselves around anti-Vince. We're not Vince. We're not WWE. And the fans really, they were behind Triple H, who was running great shows in NXT. And people were like, well, when's Triple H going to take over? And then, of course, the Vince scandal happened. He got outed. He came back. And then he got outed again. And then, eventually, throughout all that, the WWE regained all this momentum. And I talked about this in my Evolution review. You can check that out here. Or, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the camera angles, how this works. But, the crowds in the WWE are still hot. They're still going crazy for everything that they do. Like I said, it doesn't even matter about the ticket prices. They will sell out no matter what. So, ever since Vince got outed, basically, and Triple H took over, it was basically all the fans were like, okay, we're going back to WWE. And it really felt like AEW lost a lot of momentum. And I feel like, to me, watching Dynamite tonight, I feel like AEW has a chance to turn the page, no pun intended, by the way, to say, you know what, this is a new era. We're getting back to the AEW that you loved in the beginning. We're getting back to the AEW that we're getting back to those first couple years. And that's really what I want to see. If next year, Forbidden Door, All In next year, London, is Hangman, Swerve, Ospreay for the title, honestly, I might go back to London for that, because that would be an insane match to see in person. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys. AEW All In Texas in the books, top to bottom, no complaints really. Again, AEW does pay-per-view the best. Like that is what they're best at. And I just wish more people would watch Dynamite and Collision, and so that way AEW can keep growing and we can get them back into the bigger buildings. Because, I mean, man, I would love to see them do more U.S. stadium shows. I think if you do one international show, like whether that's London, Australia, wherever, and then maybe you do one U.S. stadium show, so you do 2 stadium shows a year, I think that would be great. And I want to see AEW eventually get back to these bigger arenas that the WWE is at. And let's get this back to where we are just enjoying this period of wrestling that we're in right now, where both companies are thriving and succeeding, and stop the tribalism. Let's just all enjoy our wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, leave a comment below. What did you guys think of All In? What do you think is next for Hangman Adam Page as we do get ready for Dynamite tonight? Comment below, and as always, I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.